My name is Tamara John. I'm 30 years old. 30. A number that's supposed to feel like a milestone, something solid. But when I opened my eyes that morning, the first notification I saw wasn't a happy birthday or even a forgotten late-night text. It was just the family group chat. A gray bubble from my mom's number. Congratulations. No name, no emojis, not even a heart. Instantly swallowed by my sister's chaos, one sending updates about her new puppy chewing through her sofa, the other sending a video of her toddler smashing blueberries like a tiny fruit assassin. Not a single person said, "Happy birthday, Tamara." I sat there in bed, staring at the cold light of my phone. The silence hurt more than I wanted to admit. I told myself, maybe they're busy, maybe there's a surprise, maybe they forgot, and forgetting is kinder than not caring. Around noon, I texted my mom, me. "Hey, any plans tonight? Just wondering." It took her 90 minutes to respond. "Mom, we're too busy to celebrate, honey. We'll do something later this month." No apology, no explanation, just dismissal. I tried to shake it off. My boyfriend, Daniel, kissed my forehead before leaving for a late shift, telling me we'd celebrate properly this weekend. I smiled like I was fine, but a quiet, familiar ache curled inside me. The one that arrives every time my family reminds me where I stand. I've always been the dependable one, the one who pays, the one who helps, the one who absorbs the chaos. But that night, something shifted. At 8 p.m., while my son built a pillow fort in the living room, I scrolled through Instagram, and there it was, a selfie. Posted by my mother. A long restaurant table, downtown, expensive, loud. The same place she told me she couldn't handle tonight because she was too tired. My parents. All three of my sisters, their partners, the toddler, and the damn golden retriever puppy, sitting in someone's lap, wearing a napkin bib. They were celebrating the dog. The caption slapped me. Nothing matters more than being together. Together, except me. I zoomed in. There were champagne flutes, balloons, a little card on the table. Congratulations on your new baby. Not a child. The dog. My chest tightened. I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I didn't call. I just stared at the screen until it blurred. Then my phone buzzed again. A Venmo request from my mom. On $300 memo. Dinner for everyone. Love you. On my birthday. For a dinner I wasn't invited to celebrate a dog. My thumb hovered over the screen. For years I had been the financial safety net. Rent for my youngest sister, my older sister's MLM business investment. The last-minute anniversary dinner, my parents insisted they'd totally pay back. But something inside me cracked open. I typed, "Hope dinner was nice. I won't be sending the $300, and starting this month, I'm done covering Rachel's rent." I hit send, muted the family chat, set my phone down. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. It lasted about 12 hours. The next morning, the doorbell rang. Not once, over and over, the pounding kind that makes your stomach drop. I knew instantly who it was. Only my mother rings like that. I opened the door. There she stood, oversized sunglasses covering half her face despite the cloudy sky. My dad stared at his shoes like he wished he were anywhere else. Neither waited for an invitation. They stepped inside like they owned the place. My son peeked around the hallway, confused. I gently told him to go upstairs. "Stay with your sister. Don't come down." My mother walked straight into my kitchen, opened the cabinet with my plates, took one out, and dropped it. It shattered across the tile. I froze. At first, I thought it was an accident. Her grip slipped. Something logical. Then she picked up another, and dropped it, another, and another. Ceramic exploded around her feet like a ritual. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't even breathing hard. Just breaking things. My dad stood with his arms crossed, doing nothing. Not stopping her, not helping, just silently approving. "Mom, stop," I snapped. "What are you doing?" She didn't respond. She moved to the mugs, picked up the world's best mom mug my daughter made for me in kindergarten, the one with her tiny handprint baked into the glaze. She dropped it. It cracked clean down the middle. I felt heat rise in my throat. I wanted to scream, but I wouldn't do it in front of my kids. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction. "Get out," I whispered. When she ignored me, I pulled out my phone. "I swear to God, if you don't leave right now, I'm calling the police." My mom froze. My dad finally whispered something to her in the air, too low for me to hear, and they walked out. Just like that. The floor glittered with broken glass and ceramic. My children trembled upstairs. My hands were shaking as I swept the shards. I didn't call the police, not because she didn't deserve it, but because the image of my kids watching their grandparents dragged away in handcuffs felt like another kind of trauma. I cleaned the mess, took pictures, saved security camera footage. I had a feeling this wasn't over. And I was right. By morning, my phone exploded. 15 missed calls, 7 voicemails, dozens of texts from relatives. At the center of it all, a group message from my oldest sister. "You're unbelievable." That was all. No one asked what happened. No one asked if my kids were okay. No one asked why our mother was smashing dishes in my kitchen. Then Aunt Lynn left a voicemail. "Tamara, sweetheart, your mother is very upset. She said you threatened her. She says you screamed at them. I just hope you'll be the bigger person." The bigger person. Always me. Something in me settled then. Heavy, cold, unmoving. I opened Facebook, and I posted everything. The truth, the pictures, the timeline, the boundaries. No rage, no insults, just quiet truth finally spoken. I turned off comments, set my phone down, and waited for the storm to come. My phone buzzed again the next morning, just as I packed lunches for the kids. It was my daughter's school receptionist, her voice soft and careful in a way that made my pulse climb. "Ms. John, someone claiming to be your boyfriend's mother called, asking for access to your daughter's school records. She said she's worried about the child's home environment." I closed my eyes. Daniel's mother passed away 5 years ago. A small gasp. I'm so sorry. We'll document this as a suspicious request." "Thank you," I said, though the words scraped coming out. When I hung up, I stood still in the kitchen, hands pressed flat against the counter. Someone was escalating. Someone who knew exactly how to jab the softest parts of my life, aimed at my kids, at me as a mother. The day dragged like wet clothes on a line. Somewhere around noon, I made the mistake of checking Facebook. Rachel had posted a long, trembling essay about being abandoned, about how she was losing her home, about how her family was turning its back on her. She tagged me. She tagged Mom. She even tagged her ex, the same man I paid to move out after he cheated and threatened to leak her photos. Her friends flooded the comments with sympathy. "You deserve better." "I'm so sorry, girl." "Your sister did what?" Not one mention of the 2 years I covered her rent, or the vacations she took while I paid her electric bill. People believe the first voice they hear. 3 hours later, I got a knock at the door. 2 police officers stood on the porch. My son clung to my leg. "Ma'am," one said gently, "we received a report of screaming and breaking glass at this address." My jaw slackened. There's been no yelling, no anything. I stepped aside so they could see my living room. Quiet, tidy, my kids coloring at the table. The officer gave a small nod. "Thought so. Sometimes these calls are malicious." I almost laughed. Or cried. I wasn't sure which. The next day, Daniel found the damage. My car, a fresh, deep key scratch across the front door. His car, one tire neatly slashed. He crouched down, fingertips brushing the torn rubber. "Tamara, this isn't random." "I know," I whispered. My phone chimed again that afternoon, a family-wide email. My mother's voice dripped from every sentence. "Tamara is unstable. Daniel is manipulating her. The children are in danger. We're all very worried." I felt something inside me sink, heavy as stone. She'd done it, completely rewritten the story before I even processed it myself. Daniel came up behind me, sliding his arms around my waist as I stared at the screen. His warmth contrasted sharply with the icy panic spreading through my chest. "You don't deserve any of this," he murmured. Before I could respond, another notification popped up. A DM from his ex-girlfriend. "Hey, I saw the stuff online about your family. Just checking if you're okay. If you ever need to talk, I'm here." A wave of irritation shot through me. Perfect timing. Of course she'd slither into the chaos. Daniel frowned. "I didn't even know she still followed me." "It's fine," I lied, tossing my phone aside. That night, Melissa called. The second I answered, she said, "Tamara, brace yourself. I'm sending you something." The video came through as a screen recording. Rachel and Megan, my sisters, laughing on Snapchat, faces glowing in neon heart filters. Laughing. Let's see how long it takes Tammy to crack. She always caves when Mom cries. She'll delete that Facebook post in a week. She's so dramatic, like we actually hurt her. I stopped breathing. It wasn't the words. It wasn't the mockery. It was the cold truth beneath it. They expected me to break, because I always had. Daniel stared at the video over my shoulder, his jaw tight. This is disgusting. The video ended, and for a long moment neither of us spoke. Something quiet and terrible settled in my chest. Not pain, not shock. Recognition. Mom's rage yesterday. The lies she'd woven for years. The carefully curated image that I was unstable, emotional, unreliable. It wasn't sudden. It was strategic. She'd been preparing this narrative long before I said no. Melissa's voice cut through my thoughts. Tamara, I should have told you sooner. Mom's been planting these seeds for months. Saying you're drifting, forgetting your roots, acting superior. She made people expect you to explode. I sank onto the edge of my couch. Why? You stopped paying as much, she whispered. They felt it. My throat tightened. So I was only useful as long as I was paying? There was no answer. She didn't need to give one. After we hung up, I walked to the dining table, grabbed a notebook, and opened to a blank page. I wrote, Katie, remove myself from Rachel's rental file. Call her landlord. Cancel Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Spotify, all family profiles under my card. Remove my parents and sisters from my emergency contacts. Update my will. Update my medical directives. Create a trust for my kids. Assign Daniel's brother as guardian. Freeze shared accounts. Change passwords. Backup home security footage. I wrote until my hand cramped. Daniel sat across from me, watching silently. You're done, he said. Yeah, I breathed. I am. Not with rage, not with tears. With clarity. My family hadn't just crossed a line. They'd burned the bridge clean through. And I wasn't rebuilding it this time. 3 weeks passed before they showed up again. It was a Saturday morning, quiet except for the soft clatter of my kids building Lego towers in the living room. Daniel had stepped out to grab coffee when the knock came. 3 sharp raps that carried the weight of old habits. I opened the door. My father stood there, and behind him, Rachel and Megan. But not my mother. Interesting. My father cleared his throat. Tamara, can we talk? I stepped outside and closed the door behind me, leaving only a thin barrier between them and my children. The morning air felt cool, almost too clean for what I knew was coming. Rachel started crying instantly. No warm-up, no attempt at subtlety. We're losing the apartment, she said, voice trembling like a bad audition. Megan folded her arms, chin tilted high. We know things got messy, but we're still family. Family. Amazing that the word always resurfaced only when they needed something. My father sighed deeply. Your sisters are struggling. We all are. Things have been difficult. There it was. The real reason they came. Rachel sniffled loudly. Can you just cover the rent this month? Just this month. I swear, after that we'll figure things out. Megan reached for my hand, but I stepped back. You tried guilt, I said. You tried pressure. You lied about me online. You tried to scare my kids. And now that none of it worked, you're at my door asking for money? Rachel's mouth snapped shut. Megan looked away. My father's jaw tightened. You're being stubborn, he muttered. This is petty. Petty? I whispered. You watched Mom smash dishes in my kitchen and said nothing. You let her spread lies about my mental health. You let her involve my children, and you stood back, arms crossed, like a spectator. His eyes flickered, but he stayed silent. I continued, voice steady and cold. I'm not paying your rent. I'm not sending money. I'm not reopening accounts. And I'm not deleting the post. Megan's eyebrows shot up. You left that up? Yes, I said. People deserve the truth. Not your version. Not Mom's version. The truth. Rachel's tears evaporated instantly, replaced by raw anger. Unbelievable. You think you're better than us now just because of your boyfriend? Daniel has nothing to do with this, I said sharply. These are consequences of your choices, of the lies, of the years you treated me like a walking, talking debit card. Megan scoffed. We're your sisters. Not anymore, I cut in quietly. Titles don't survive behavior. My father looked at me then, really looked at me, and I saw it. The moment he realized the old version of me was gone, the obedient daughter, the reliable fixer, the convenient wallet. He'd lost her, and he didn't know what to do with the person standing in front of him now. I reached for the doorknob. This conversation is over. Megan tried one last shot. Mom's been crying for days. She says you won't even speak to her. I opened the door just enough to slip inside, then paused. She never called, I said, not once. Their faces stiffened. Goodbye, I said, then closed the door. The click of that latch felt like the final note of a song I'd been trying to stop singing for years. Inside, the kids were still building their tower, blissfully unaware. Daniel arrived moments later with 2 coffees. One look at my face, and he knew. They came, didn't they? I nodded. It's done. We sat in silence for a moment on the couch, his hand warm on mine. Later that afternoon, Melissa called. Tamara, you should know something, she said. The relatives confronted your mom. They said you didn't abandon anyone. They said everyone abandoned you the moment you stopped paying. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Melissa continued softly. She didn't deny it. After I hung up, I stood in my backyard, watching the early evening light settle across the grass. For the first time in a long time, it felt quiet. Not the tense quiet I grew up in, not the fragile quiet after a fight. A different quiet, a peaceful one. I made the final updates that night, removed every remaining shared account, revised my will, secured the trust for my kids, set new emergency contacts, locked away every door my family used to walk through. When it was all done, I breathed, really breathed. Weeks passed. No sudden Venmo requests, no guilt-laced voicemails, no smashed plates, no strangers calling schools pretending to be relatives, no chaos, no manipulation. Just dinners with Daniel, kids who laughed without looking over their shoulders, real birthdays, real peace, the kind I didn't know I'd been starving for. And in that quiet, I realized something simple and true. They didn't lose me, they lost access to me, and I gained myself.